We just spent 2 days, 1 night at MSC's Ocean Cay. And this private island has cruisers divided. In this video, there will be at least one thing that either makes you fall in love with it or completely regret getting off the ship. The good news is I'm going to show you exactly what to expect, what to avoid, and what most cruisers miss, starting with the one thing that shocked us the moment we got off the ship. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you fresh cruise advice, money-saving hacks, and secret strategies the cruise lines don't advertise. Let's get started. One of the first things we noticed when getting off the ship is that after we got through the welcoming area and to that first beach, there were loads of free chairs everywhere. You don't have to spend a dime to get a nice beach lounger. They have regular Adirondack chairs. They even have bean bags and things like that to sit on the beach. And you can move them around like they're your own. There are a lot of shady spots because different beaches have trees and other structures providing shade. So if you want shade, you can drag a chair to where there's shade or find a chair that's sitting in the full sun. It's not a problem on this island. It doesn't matter if you get off when the ship first gets there or you get off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon and want to find a spot, you will find one. But this next item left us wanting for more. One of the things I love about MSC's private island is I can get off the ship and go for a run. They have a path swirling around the island. It goes in different directions and cuts through the middle, and it's a great place to go for a jog or a walk. Very scenic and beautiful. And that's the first thing I like to do. So I'm not always ready to eat during normal lunch hours. But on MSC's private island, they have very strict and limited hours for when they're providing food and even drinks. And that's a problem we had with the service. Not that the service was bad, but that if you don't finish eating by 2 o'clock, everything's closed down. And it doesn't make sense because many ships are there till 6 or 7 at night, and certain ships spend the night at Ocean Cay, which means they have parties late into the night on the beaches, fireworks, things of that nature, but no food. The food closes at 2:30, and that's it. If you want to eat after that, you have to go back on the ship. It's rather annoying when you're spending your day on a private island. And that same theme translates into the bars. Now, the plus of the bars on the private island is that your drink package is included. This isn't the case with all cruise lines, but with MSC, if you have a drink package, all drinks on the private island are free. But the bar hours are limited. They shut down about 4 or 5. Between that time, you started seeing one bar close down, and then you might be lucky enough to get to the next one and order a drink before they close down. They kind of did it in stages because they have to bring all this stuff from the ship, and then they start taking it little by little back to the ship. It's not kept on the island. And that's a problem because if you're on a ship that's staying overnight at Ocean Cay, after 4:30, no more drinks on the island. But there is one spot on this island that is true paradise. If you're staying in MSC's Yacht Club, the minute you get off the ship, there's going to be a reception area with a Yacht Club sign on it, and they're going to take you privately in a golf cart directly to the opposite side of the island where they have built out an area that is exclusive for Yacht Club guests. And the best thing about this area is the lounge and the restaurant and bar, because it's like being in a fancy resort somewhere. They really did it well, and the food they serve in the Yacht Club restaurant on this island is superior to all other islands I've been on. It is really well done. You have a menu just like if you were on the ship, but they serve an incredible selection of food at this restaurant. The Yacht Club bar on the island is exceptional as well. It's only for Yacht Club guests, and of course drinks are free for Yacht Club guests anyway. The service is really good because you can either sit in the restaurant, which has nice, comfortable seating. It's open air, but it's cooler in there. Or you can sit outside if you want to be in the sun. They have chairs and umbrellas for yacht club guests, and the wait staff will bring your drink and food right to you. But there is one thing I wish MSC would fix about their yacht club experience on Ocean Cay. Well, the one mistake I made on the yacht club experience is stepping into the yacht club beach because it's incredibly rocky. In fact, I've been to all of the beaches on MSC's Ocean Cay, and there are many of them. This is probably one of the worst, so I'm not sure why they didn't prepare it better to be part of the yacht club experience. That should be their best beach, or at least one of the best. And not only is it rocky, but it's a smaller beach that's kind of a lagoon area with a net on the one side. The water isn't even the clearest here. It's clearer on other beaches in other parts of the island. So skip the yacht club beach, but definitely do everything else in the yacht club experience if you can, and then just walk to one of the other beaches to enjoy the water. And that leads me to one of the main reasons people fall in love with Ocean Cay. I've been to some other private islands, and there's usually one main beach or 1.5 main beaches. And then there might be another beach or two that is a premium beach that you have to pay a little extra for. And then you'll find water parks and rides and all kinds of things like that. You're not going to find all of those extras on MSC's Ocean Cay, but you are going to find many more beaches and a diverse array of them, which many people love. It's a great part of the island. In fact, one beach to the next is a different experience. They have a nice beach right next to the ship, which is very easy to walk to, a lot of seating there. It gets a lot of good sun and good view of the ship, and the water's usually calm there, and the sand is pretty decent there. And then they have a lagoon in the middle of the island. The island's actually made up of 2 islands, and this middle part is extremely calm, almost placid water all the time. And there's several beaches around that lagoon that you can go to. It's great for kids or any kind of floating or other activity you want to do in there when you want calm water. And then there are beaches dotted around the edge of the island that face more of the open water. They can get waves and more motion at times, but some people like that, and so you have a different experience there. On the far end of the island, there is a wide beach that actually is completely open with no nets. It's also just a very nice experience to walk along some of these beaches. Some are longer than others and better for walking. One pro tip is you're gonna probably wanna bring some water shoes just in case, because some of these beaches are more rocky than others. The lagoon in the middle is probably got the smoothest sand, as well as the beach next to the ship, but it is hit or miss, and sometimes you might find a patch of some rocks in there, so you want to have some foot protection just in case. Coming up at number 7 is one thing that turns people against Ocean Cay. But first, I want to know if you have a favorite private island. Put the name in the comments below. I love to snorkel, and whenever I go on a cruise anywhere in the Caribbean, I've always got my snorkel gear and I'm ready to go as soon as I hit the beach. But Ocean Cay is not really the place to do it. For one, if you don't bring your own gear, they hit you up with a $45 per day charge just to rent snorkel gear. And you're probably only going to use it for an hour or two, because the snorkeling there stinks anyway. There's really not a great place to snorkel. Now, you can get good views. The water is very clear, but most of the beaches have protective nets because there are sharks in these waters and they want to keep them away, which also keeps away most other fish. So you're not going to see a whole lot of fish in the water. You'll see some, but nothing special. Another thing that's disappointing about how they handle this is on the far side of the island, there is promise for some good snorkeling. The way it is structured and it's wide open to the ocean, they can't put up nets there too easily, so they don't have nets. But they put lifeguards there on wave runners. And if you venture off past the shallows a little bit to try to do some snorkeling around the rock formations, they're quick to come over there and tell you to get back into where you can stand. They don't want people out there. I guess they're afraid that there are sharks in these waters, but it really could be a good opportunity if they allowed it. I had a couple of cruisers this year tell me that they hate Ocean Cay. And I asked them why, and they said, well, they never got to go. And unfortunately, this happens a lot because Ocean Cay was basically a trash heap that MSC took and beautified. And they have a whole foundation to preserve corals. They're actually planting coral around the island to help the sea grow and flourish in this area. So it's kind of in the middle of shallow waters. So in order for the ships to get into the island, they have to go for quite a distance in this narrow channel and make sure that they don't run aground. So if the weather's bad, if there are high winds, the captain, more likely than not, is going to skip the island. And this happens more often than you might think, which causes a lot of controversy among passengers who are expecting to have a nice private island day, and it gets missed. But when you do make it to the island, this next thing makes it all worthwhile. I found some real hidden gems on Ocean Cay. In fact, the entire coastline to the west is rather rocky, and it's not a great beach. There are some sandy areas to it, but it's a great place to find your own little private cove or private paradise because hardly anybody goes there. It's not a very welcoming beach, and the waves can get really big there on this side of the island. However, there are some great little coves to sit on some rocks. They actually do have chairs over there as well that you can move around and put somewhere. You can pull one right up to where the waves are crashing in and just get your feet in that. It feels really good, and you can spend a good part or a whole day there, and you might have 4 or 5 people around you. But this next item always hurts my feet. I love a good sandy beach, and you're not going to find a great sand at Ocean Cay. The sand is hit or miss. It's a mix. It's some very fine grained sand, and there are some rocks mixed into it. I'm not exactly sure why they don't sift these out or just bring in a whole bunch of sand to make the beaches nicer, but they're trying, I guess, to preserve the natural element here. So I highly recommend you bring water shoes, especially if you're going to be getting into the water on the beaches, or if you want to explore the coastline, because they'll come in really handy. And there's a lot of raw coastline to explore as well, but they save your feet. Trust me, if you're going barefoot, just look where you're stepping, because if you step in one of these rocks, it doesn't feel so good. And this last item, some other cruisers are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for. But first, if you found this video at all interesting so far, make sure you subscribe to our channel and get all of our cruising updates. I like as much as anybody to sit on a nice resort beach with a wait staff and a cocktail in hand, but I also like the natural beauty of the ocean and the coastline. And you find this on MSC. You find raw natural coastline all around the island. All you have to do is walk a little ways. And this is something other private islands miss with so much overdevelopment. Many cruisers pay hundreds of dollars for excursions like this on other ports of call, to be taken to parts of the island where they can explore the coastline, get pictures of waves crashing high over rocks, find little coves where fish are swimming in there. You can find this on MSC if you do a little exploring. It's really a great place if you love nature and if you like wild and natural beauty, and that kind of makes it a special place compared to other private islands. Some of the most stunning views people get here is when they're here overnight and they can watch the sunset from the island. And it's really a great place to do it, and they make it festive as well with parties and other events. So now that you're more familiar with Ocean Cay, there's a whole different level of experience that MSC gives some cruisers in the Yacht Club. I'll tell you all about that right here.